Hi everyone, thanks for being here. This is Tony Tonkin from the Child Protection Party. Welcome to our YouTube channel, a place whereby you can learn a lot from the stories that people tell us about how they are struggling with the care of their children and how particularly child protection may get involved. The Child Protection Party, though, deals broadly with issues in relation to the well-being generally of children. Mental health, education, housing, the way they deal with parenting, a whole host of issues sit within protecting kids and making sure that kids reach their full potential. But this is who the Child Protection Party is. Children's lives are important, and we at the Child Protection Party want the best outcome for all children. So we encourage you to subscribe to CPP, to comment on any of the videos that we make, to talk to us about the issues that concern you, and someone will respond from the party in relation to any of the comments that you make below. But we need you to subscribe. So please subscribe, please share, and please let other people know about Child Protection Party, our YouTube channel, and the things that we have to say that may or may not be, but hopefully are helpful particularly to you. So I'm going to talk today about a post that I received on Messenger on my Facebook page, because this is interesting because even though I've retired and I have not been a part of the Child Protection Party for a couple of years, and I'm back doing these videos for them because it's kind of my thing to do. But I'm also here as someone that can act as a conduit for the issues that you may have that are concerning you in relation to child protection and any other issues that you may have that concern you in relation to kids in general. So we need to focus on the fact that the Child Protection Party isn't just about child protection in terms of Department of Child Protection coming and removing children. It's far more greater and bigger and wider and broader than that. But I'm going to talk today about a post I received on Messenger. And now I often receive these posts because I've been working in this space for a couple of decades now, and a lot of people know who I am and suggest that people contact me when they've got issues around the department. And I received one yesterday that I'm just going to talk about. Now, I'm not going to identify who this woman is because that's unfair. There may be some elements of what I say when I read out her post that may be indicators to others as to who this person is, and I apologise to that. It's like the old saying, I used to say in my groups I ran that there's 1/6 of separation, and in Adelaide here where I live, it's 1/3. So every 6 people that you meet will know somebody that you know. But here in South Australia, who knows what it is. But so I am going to mention some details that come out of this post. I'm not going to refer to this person by her real name. I'm going to call her Jane, which isn't her real name. And I'm going to read the post out to you so that you understand what she's saying. Now, I will encourage people who've got these issues to comment in the comment section below, and someone from the Child Protection Party will get back to you and respond to your comment. If you've got things that you want answered during this forum about child protection, this is an opportunity for you to do that as well. So, as is the case here, I'm responding to someone's message to me where they've asked for some advice. So I'll read it to you, and then I'll respond as I go through it about what this person could or could not do. She says, "Hi Tony, I'm just reaching out as I currently have an issue with both DCP and DHS harassing our family and extended family." Now I'd like to know how this harassment affects the extended family as well. She doesn't highlight that, but it would be interesting to know the involvement of the department in terms of conversations they're having with other members of the family. It started off as reports about my partner's children and their cleanliness from their school. So clearly, there was an issue in terms of her partner's children in relation to their cleanliness. And what I would say to a lot of people was, well, look, if there are those issues, have a chat to the person that made the report. And clearly, if the school thinks there's an issue around this, then sort that out with them so it doesn't continue to be further and further reports. Be proactive. Something may have happened that you don't know about that has brought about a report, a concern that the school might have had about those children. Mainly my partner's middle child, who has very low functioning non-verbal autism. I had a baby just recently, and this is the other thing too, is when you're becoming involved with other families. Now, I don't know how long this relationship's been, but there may be issues there that you didn't know about in terms of the relationship between the children and the school and other issues in the past. And those issues wind up impacting your current situation now that Jane has had a daughter of her own. So I had a baby just recently, and after 13 years of raising my eldest daughter on my own without any dealings with them, they suddenly placed their interest in my baby and my 13-year-old daughter. Now, the issue here is that, again, as I said, there were issues, may have been issues with your partner's family, raising of children, which might have had something to do with his previous partner. Don't know, for you to sort out. But that might be an issue that needs to be addressed. However, this obviously is impacting Jane at a time where I should be able to enjoy being a freshly new mother of my new baby girl. Instead, it has been 5 months of pure hell. DHS has been visiting weekly, and although saying they see nothing wrong with my daughters and their safety, etc., they still refuse to back off. So at one level, they're saying, well, we don't see any issues. Well, if they're saying they're not seeing any issues, why are they still persisting? You need to follow that through. I had one DHS worker constantly bringing up DCP as a threat if I didn't work with them. So the issue there is, did you refuse to work with them? Did you question them in some way? And can I just say at this point too, if you're ever having a meeting with the department, ensure that you have someone else with you, some independent person. I would prefer you to have, or I think one of the suggestions I often make, is find yourself an independent social worker, so social workers in private practice, who you may have to pay in order to attend with you, but there are those people around. Just contact the Australian Association of Social Workers to find out who they are. If you can't find such a person, then find someone who is a friend, who can also support you. Ensure that that person isn't super aggressive, that they don't have all that much to say during these sessions. Get them there to be there to take notes, to report what is happening during those sessions, so that there can be a third party if this has to escalate. So constantly bringing up DCP as a threat if I didn't work with them, to which I spoke to a supervisor and asked him to stop her dealing with our case because I believe she was being very unprofessional and stepping out of line. So what you need to do there is to identify, you need to be specific about behaviours. So it is important to identify specifically what the behaviours are, and this is really important. Now, behaviours are what we say, what we do, so and there might be gestures, there might be the tone of voice, they might be the type of language, the words used, all that sort of stuff. Now, it is important to be able to note what those behaviours are. So you should always go along, or your support workers should always be able to note what is said, what is done, and note, and then you note afterwards, once those notations have been made, you note how those behaviours made you feel. So for some people, they feel denigrated, they feel fearful, they feel ashamed, they feel resentful. There's a whole host of feeling words that you could use to describe how each behaviour made you feel. It's important to be able to note that, because if you wish to escalate it, at the end of the day, it's about how those things make you feel that becomes important. It felt like her only interest, and it felt like her only interest was having our children taken away. Instead, that's not a feeling, that's a belief. So I believed that she wanted to take our children away. That's really what it amounted to. We're currently working with a different DHS worker. Just recently, my partner's autistic daughter bit her arms during an autistic meltdown. DCP had one of their doctors diagnose her as suspicious injury. We contested this, and her mother and grandmother took her to their local doctor, who marked her as no suspicious injury and said her markings were clearly made by her own teeth. Okay, get a third party's assessment. It's a good idea as to what happened. Make sure that that is noted and that that is presented to the department. At this stage, all I'm taking from this is continued malpractice, unnecessarily reports and straight up harassment from the department. I'm considering seeking legal aid. I guess he wants to seek legal advice is what she's saying. Don't. Firstly, it will go nowhere. I've never known a challenge to the department. People have thought about class actions and a whole host of other things which are justifiable reasons, and I can understand it. But really, at the end of the day, the legislation, everything leans in their favour, so don't do that. The only way you can ever confront these people is on a one-to-one basis. You know, I can remember years ago there was a social worker in a local department who was horrible. The worst person, social worker. She was a disgrace to the profession. And I registered continual complaints against her myself. And I registered them to the ASW. I registered them with the department. And I'd say to clients that were working with her, register your complaints. And at the end of the day, the more complaints you register, and the more people that do that, the chances are that person will be removed from their position. So she says, I'm considering legal aid, and because this is getting out of hand, don't do that. Do the other things that I've talked about, causing stress and hurt of all of us concerned. My daughter is currently refusing to attend school and wants to do online schooling, so I have to attend a school meeting tomorrow with the school that is making these false claims and reports, which I'm feeling very anxious about due to the current lack of trust towards this school, due to these false reports being made. I just want to know your views about this, and if there is any advice you can offer us, much appreciated. And so my advice is as follows. Don't get angry. Remain calm. Have a support worker with you at all times. Focus on their behaviour. Note their behaviour. Focus on how that behaviour, each individual behaviour, makes you feel. Challenge them, but be polite. You will notice that they will behave often badly the more you challenge them. But if you challenge them and stay calm, you'll be okay. If you challenge them, and I've seen this happen many times, and you swear and you yell and you shout and you act badly in front of them, they will see this as a reason why you're a bad parent. It doesn't help, so don't do it. I know it's hard to restrain. I found it often difficult to restrain myself in front of my colleagues as well, because they're acting so badly. But you need to make sure that you've got these other strategies in place. Make complaints. Contact the department. Write letters to your local MP. Write letters to the DCP or the department manager. Do all that you can. And have your support worker, who's also witnessing this, get them to write workers. Build up a campaign against anybody that you feel is treating you inappropriately. Finally, remember, you can always take them to the Australian Association of Social Workers. If you're in South Australia, social workers have to be registered. So there's a registration process you could go through to challenge some of these people's behaviour, or go direct to the ASW. If someone's not even registered with the ASW but professes to be a social worker, you can still register your complaint with them. So there's lots that you can do. Now, I hope that is helpful, and it's not about just being helpful to this particular person. It's about these ideas which might be helpful to all of you who have experienced problems with the department. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to comment down below. I want you to subscribe to the channel. I want us to have a community that can talk about these issues together so that we can work through them as a community and understands different strategies that we could use in order to challenge. And if you wish to have a conversation directly with me around this, there's a couple of ways we could do this. Send me some information about you. You can send that via the Child Protection Party. To contact Child Protection Party, it's simply look up childprotection.party. We'll bring you to the webpage. Contact Avery or somebody, make those, and we can talk about the issues that you're facing if they're more unique and different from the ones I've just discussed. Let me know what you think. Remember to subscribe to the channel as well and make some comments below. In the meantime, take care, look after yourselves, and more importantly, keep you and your family safe. Children's lives are important, and we at the Child Protection Party want the best outcome for all children.